Hello and welcome back to the Preppy Podcast. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I also want to thank everyone who came out to the Savannah live podcast event last week. I'm going to have that audio and video to share with all of you shortly. But truly sitting up there with the amazing panel that I had, those amazing female founders, and then looking out into the audience of about like 50 people was so surreal and something that I have been hoping to do for so long since I started this podcast. So thank you guys so much for that. And I can't wait, for next year and where I'm going to have other live podcast events and the growth of the podcast that continues. So thank you guys again for that. But this week I am excited because not only is it Thanksgiving week, but I also am interviewing the founder of Fresh Pickle. I don't know about you guys, but I am very into hobbies and trying new things, and one of them being pickleball. I have played a few times before, and I think they have the cutest accessories, honestly, out there. I mean, the paddles are adorable, bags are adorable, and Fresh Pickle is one of those brands with those adorable accessories for it. So without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. All right, so why don't you let everyone know who you are, where you live, and what you do?
My name is Lee Osterling. I currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Previously was in Atlanta for 23 years. We've just been in Charlotte for not even 2 years yet. So new Charlotte native. Gosh, I have my own business, Fresh Pickle Designs. I started it exactly about 2 years ago. Came up with a concept and then started selling on Amazon last April of 2023. And now we have our own website. We do wholesale. We've added a lot more products. So it's sort of just kind of exploded. And it's been really interesting process. Never done anything like this before, but if I can do it, anybody can do it.
I love that. And, a pickle is such a fun new sport. I feel like well, not new, but I feel like it's new in terms of trends. Everyone's playing and jumping onto it. And I think I heard a stat that it's like the fastest growing sport in America right now,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is so impressive. So I'm really excited to learn more about you and your business. But first, I like to start at the beginning. So tell me about your childhood. Were you someone that was creative or entrepreneurial, or maybe you were into sports and played a lot of sports growing up? Like, what was your childhood like?
Yeah, well, I'm a lot older than you. So, I grew up as a child of the 70s, 80s. Anyway, I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. My dad was a businessman. My mom was creative. She did a lot of different things, ended up in sales for a while. Um, and so, yeah, I had like I was very creative. I always loved art classes and all that stuff. I ended up going to college, and of course, I'm practical also. So, with my parents, like, okay, you need to get a degree where you can actually get a job.
Yeah.
So, I ended up with an accounting degree and worked in accounting, got my MBA, and then did management consulting for a while until I had kids, software development, software training. Then ended up taking some time off when I had the kids. And eventually, when the kids didn't need me anymore, I told my husband, like, I got to do something. So we ended up operating an indoor cycling studio
Oh.
for about 5 years. That was really fun. One of my best friends was my business partner. So I got a little experience of how it is to run a small business. It was a big learning curve and ended up exiting that like right about 2 years ago. And again, told
Okay.
my husband, like, I've got to do something. And right around that same time, I've always been really intrigued by e-commerce. And,
Mhm.
that's something that was never even, when I was growing up or even in my early 20s, even 30s, online commerce was not even a thing. It's just become really recent in my lifetime. So e-commerce has always been fascinating to me. And I guess I started looking at content online about just anything, like how to sell on Amazon, just more for my own interest than anything else. And I found a great content provider because I'm very data driven and
Mm.
analytic. So this same thing was like, okay, well, if you want to sell, you have to really look at, is there even a market out there for what your idea is? And then
Mhm.
discover, okay, yes, I think this can make it work. Then you have to find a source. And then actually the first thing you have to do is come up with a product. So I had just started playing pickleball. I had been playing tennis for quite some time in Atlanta, But I just started playing pickleball, and I was like, okay, this is really fun, but I need a bag because if I play tennis, you show up at the tennis courts, everybody's got their cute outfits on and their cute tennis bag. So
Hmm.
I was like, okay, well, I need a bag for pickleball, and I went out there and looked, and there was literally, I want to say nothing, but there was nothing that I felt like I would want to carry. So that it was kind of all merged at the same time, and I said, I think there's a market out there for people. I'm the target market. Like I want this specific type of bag, and it was not out there. So that's when I started the process of, coming up with idea, working on the design, finding a supplier, going back and forth, with the design process. So it's been, and then since then we started with one tote bag
Hmm.
called the Lola tote and four colorways. That's my first product, and I ordered 1,200 units.
Okay.
And I said, and my husband, I was like, well, looking at the market, right at that point in time, I think there were 5 million people playing pickleball. It grown exponentially since then. I said, I only need 1,200 of them to buy
Yep.
my bag. So I felt like it was a little bit of a low risk because I knew the market was out there. I'm the target market, and I know plenty of people that would be interested in my products. So anyway, went from there. Then I branched out into backpacks, and now we've got other, I guess, related pickleball related items.
It's so cool. And, I love your designs because they're very preppy and they're colorful. They have like a classic fun little varsity stripe, let's call it. And so it's so interesting though, because it sounds like you kind of had this like idea for a business before the product came to you, or like a want to have a business. Which it's funny, I interviewed the ladies of Fenwick Fields a few, maybe a month or two ago, and sort of was the same situation with them. Like they had other businesses and they knew they wanted to go into business together, but at that point they weren't sure what the product would be. Which I find is so fascinating because I feel like a lot of people that I interview, it's the opposite. It's like they have this product and it's just, how can I turn it into a business, or how can I make this into something? So I found that so interesting then with your story there.
Yeah, and I could have, I mean, go on Amazon, you can buy anything from soup to nuts, right? So I was
Hmm.
like, well, I wanted to find something I was passionate about and interested in, and so this was like the perfect because I have my creative side on the design process. I mean, I came up with a name, we came up with with the website domain, the colorways, the fonts that we use, and of course the product design, which kind of lets me be use that creative piece, but I'm also using my business side too. So it's been a really good
Yep.
uh, marriage of those two.
So, tell me a little bit about then, the name and the branding and getting your first prototypes and products in. Like, what was that process like? How were you sound, and you've said you're very analytical. So, how were you taking up to Google? Were you taking more courses to discover, how to manufacture? How did you get, the product and the brand together as so that you could put it out there?
Yeah, the content and is a group of people on Facebook,
Mhm.
and that he has a lot of content that you can subscribe to. It's called Seller Systems, and he really goes through the process of, okay, finding your market, and then he has a very much a how-to, step by step. Okay, if you want to sell on Amazon, here's the steps you need to go through, and then it's a very complicated thing. Now I was doing it all myself at the beginning, but now we have some agencies that are helping us do the pieces that I don't have time for, or I'm not really interested in. Now the brand was funny because I knew I had the idea, I knew it was going to be pickleball, but
Mhm.
finding a brand name was interesting because we wanted the domain name for our website, our eventual website. So that limits you, like, because a lot of those domain names are taken, or you
Mhm.
have to spend a lot of money to buy those, which we didn't really have. So we iterated through, gosh, I had my kids, we were just my friends, we were all like just noodling on the deer. And I literally was laying in bed one night and I was like, fresh pickle. Freshpickle.com. That's easy. It's short enough for people to remember. It's a little bit catchy. It's
Mhm.
sort of pickleball, but it's not, it can be a lot of different things. Doesn't have to be just pickleball,
Yeah.
it could be a clothing. It could be, so I just sort of came to me in the middle of the night, and then we lucked out. We found the domain name and it was not too expensive to buy. So that's sort of how it evolved. And then we had the logo and the font. My son's girlfriend is a graphic designer,
Oh,
web
cool.
developer. So she helped me actually come up with the logo and the font and the design. So it's sort of a group effort.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great advice though, is kind of leaning into your community and reaching out and see who might be able to help you in different aspects at the beginning. It's such a great tool to have, those types of people in your life.
Yeah, yeah, unbelievably so. My son, um, he's the one with the girlfriend. He's a software engineer, so he helped me build out
Oh,
the
wow.
website. Yeah, I mean, it's just all these. I'm using all, and my daughter's big into social media, so she helped me with my Instagram stuff and a lot of my photo shoots she was involved in. She's still in college, but she's helped me out a lot. So, and then
I
my
love
husband's very technical, so he's doing a lot for me actually.
that.
Yeah, I could never have done it all by myself. Just it takes a village.
Yeah, that's what they say. So, I'd love to talk to you a little bit too about deciding to sell on Amazon to start. And I know you have your own website now, because I feel like a lot of people it's the opposite. They create their own URL and then they want to get on Amazon because you can reach a lot of people, but it's a whole process, like you said, to get onto Amazon and go through that process. So, tell me about kind of that decision and what that looked like.
Well, I look at Amazon, particularly now, because I'm a couple years in, as sort of a necessary evil for
Mhm.
online businesses. Because now I started because I didn't have a warehouse. I didn't have, and they do all the fulfillment. They take all the returns. They really, it's easy for a small business if you have a good idea because you can do it just on your own. I didn't have to have somebody. I wasn't relying on somebody in a warehouse to ship out my product when somebody placed an order. So there's a lot of great things about Amazon.
Mhm.
They do take their fees are outrageous, so,
Yeah.
that's the thing that gets me, you know, they do a lot, but they take a lot.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, once we kind of felt like, "Okay, this is a successful product," how can we kinda shift away from Amazon? We'll
Mm.
always have Amazon just because of the market is so huge, and people are always gonna be shopping on Amazon. I shop on Amazon almost every day, so,
Mhm.
um, but wanting to build our own website, so then and then getting to wholesale too, because I was like, "Well, ours are perfect items for boutiques or, pro shops,
Yeah.
etcetera." So Amazon obviously doesn't do that. So, then I guess around January, we launched our website, and we're trying to drive traffic through Google and, Facebook and Meta ads to our website versus, Amazon.
Mhm.
So that's been, it's a slow go process. It's hard to get visibility when you're a small company without paying a lot of money for ads.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, a lot of our ad spend is on Amazon. We have a lot of ad spend that's on Google and Meta. Um, so, we actually kind of, started on Amazon. We'll always be on Amazon, but now we have our own website, trying to drive traffic there, seeing
Mhm.
we're a little bit more profitable on products that we sell ourselves. Now we have, actually, it's funny, another family member, my sister-in-law, they live in Indiana, so we have a storage facility there, and so she does
Oh,
my
nice.
customer service and ships out wholesale orders and deals with customer returns. And so, now we have, and then is able to, we are able to store a lot of things,
Yeah.
there. And eventually, I think we'll have products on our website that we won't have on Amazon.
Okay. I was gonna ask that. Yeah, some exclusives then.
Yeah, yeah, and so now with, having your own website too, Amazon doesn't allow you to collect any email or customer
Oh,
information.
yeah.
So, and for example, I mean, I've had thousands and thousands of orders on Amazon, but I can't market to the people who've already sold to
Mm.
because they don't allow me to access that. So with our own website, we can get email addresses, phone numbers, so we can do SMS and email marketing for, let's say, next by Black Friday, we're going to have two more colorways. So I can blast that out to our email address. On Amazon, it's a little bit more difficult to
Mhm.
advertise that because it's just those pop-up ads here and there. And it's not targeted.
Yeah.
Um, so that's, another impetus for trying to drive traffic off other than, our margins are a little bit higher
Yeah.
off of Amazon.
That's a good point because I did know obviously, Amazon takes a lot from the profit there. The margins, aren't the best, but I didn't even think about, yeah, you're not getting those email addresses or those phone numbers from the customers to keep them as a returning customer. So
Right, right.
that's a good point.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about then the Fresh Pickle as it is today. Like what types of products you offer? How many bags? You said you have totes, you have backpacks now. I know you have other products like socks and water bottles. So tell us about the product assortment and what the brand is today.
Right. So again, we started again last holiday season. We only had totes and backpacks,
Mhm.
and then I'm always thinking on my creative side, like, what can I add that will, grab a buyer like me? If you like pickleball, okay, what else do you need on the court? A water bottle. So I designed some cute, really cute water bottles. They're just like Stanley's. They're really good and they're super cute. The pink and white stripe. We've got green and
Mhm.
white stripe. A lot of really cute, fun colors, and our logos on there and everything. Those were, a pretty good ad, right I think that was probably our next product we added. This summer, I added cooler bags, which are just like little oblong coolers that you
Mm.
can put down in the Lola tote. So if you're on the court, it's super hot in the summer. A lot of pickleball players. Florida's a huge market. Texas, California, those are probably our 3 biggest markets right
Oh,
now.
interesting. Yeah.
So having a cooler bag, you can put your cold towel in there, you can put cold drinks in there, and it fits right down in. Or you could use it if you're just going to the pool and put it in your pool bag with your kids. So I added those. What else do I have? Socks. I just thought those were fun, and so I
Hmm.
designed.
They're cute.
I thought they were really cute. And then pajamas. They're super cute. We had those out right around Mother's Day. They didn't quite get in stock by Mother's Day,
Hmm.
but we designed some. It's like a pair of shorties, and a long pair. Really cute with a pickleball logo, kind of print all over. The short ones are blue and the long ones are pink. We've had great success with those. And then we did some slippers that coordinate with those, just those like plush slippers.
Yep.
Those are going to be a great holiday item, I think. It's a good
Yep.
price point for people doing gifts for people with, friends that play a lot of pickleball. Um, I have baseball hats coming out, hopefully by Christmas.
Okay.
Really cute with a pickleball. No, it's not our logo. It's just like cross paddles and a pickleball print on the hood, and then it's got a ponytail thing in the back and our logo on the back. So those are
Cute.
actually on their way. I've got 2 more colorways coming, so we'll end up having 7 colorways on the Lola bag
Mm.
and I think we'll have 5 on the Teddy, which is the backpack. I
Yep.
ended up naming my products after my dog is Lola. She's almost 14.
Oh,
So that's why I called our first one was the Lola bag. And then Teddy is my sister-in-law's dog, another cute
so
little.
cute.
And I did sweaters. Sweaters are cute. I have some really cute cotton sweaters with a pickleball print on or
Yep.
sleeve on there design. Those were the Aussie sweaters. My son's girlfriend has a dog named Ozzy, so that's sort of like how it kind of caught on. So, anyway, that's just like a fun little thing because I just love my dog and
Yeah. Totally. What kind of dog do you have?
she's a golden doodle. She's
Oh, so
sweet.
cute.
She's sitting over right there.
I know. I have behind me my Jack Russell. I don't know if you can see him, but he sits behind me every day. I have 2 though, but yeah, so cute. So tell me about then having Fresh Pickle, having this as your business. What would you say is your favorite and the best part? And then what's like your least favorite and the hardest part? Sounds like you're a numbers person and analytical, like you said. So I feel like your worst part's not going to be what most people's worst part
Right,
is.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I'm gonna, like, go on both sides because they're complete opposites. So on the one side, of course, I love being able to use my creative side and thinking of new products, think of what people would want. Even, like, to grow a business, I can't just stay with the same even if it's just a different colorway or different
Mhm.
stripe pattern, that kind of I'm always thinking of either new products, new designs. So I love that part of it. And then on the nerdy side. I do enjoy because it's really to be a good business owner, you have to be able to understand your finances, whether you're
Mhm.
actually making money or not making money. So I'm pretty diligent about on a monthly basis, looking at each product. Has this been profitable this month? Has it not? Where can we make changes? Is it a pricing issue? Do we need more inventory? All that. I kind of glossed over the design process. We can go back over that with the
Yeah.
because it is manufactured in China. But so I think those are like 2 of my favorites in a weird way because they're
Mhm.
complete opposites. What I'm not comfortable with is social media. It's just like
Mhm.
for my generation, it's just one of those things. I consume social media, but I'm not so great at, oh gosh, I've got to post 3 times this week. What's the content? So I've got help with that, which is amazing because
Yeah.
those are a unique set of skills that if you're good at it, you're really good at it.
Mhm.
Um, So that's kind of only because I don't have the bandwidth to be on top of that.
Yeah.
Like TikTok, I know what TikTok is. We now, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, but and we have a TikTok account, but I haven't done anything with it yet. So like I got to
Hmm.
get somebody to get on that kind of thing. And it takes a lot of time and energy. And I'm just sort of scattered doing a bunch of other things. So
Yeah. And it's always changing with social media too. I feel like that's the hardest part for everyone these days, the algorithm and everything is constantly changing. So it's hard to stay on top of for sure.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about manufacturing.
Okay,
So,
sourcing, yeah. So
yeah.
part of the process of the education and training that I went through was, okay, you have your product, now how do you get it manufactured? And,
Mhm.
let's be frank, most everything's manufactured in China these days. It's just, I mean, would I love to have it manufactured in the US? Yes, but I'd have to charge probably triple
Yeah.
what I'm charging. It's just the nature of business, right? Anyway, so there's so many manufacturers in China. Again, another weird connection. My brother-in-law used to do a lot of business in China, so he had a person that he's like, "Here's your person." Her name's Carrie. She knows all the manufacturers. She's sort of like an agent over
Mm.
there. She's like, "Get in touch with her." So I got in touch with her, gave literally sketches of my designs, and maybe a couple of inspiration, let's just put it
Okay.
that way, like, here's the look and feel, and she said, "Okay, I have 2 manufacturers in mind, we'll get samples made." I mean, she took the ball running. "We'll get 2 samples." She said, "I think we're gonna go this one because they have a better reputation, but we'll do our due diligence." So we did, got samples back from both, and we ultimately did go with the one, that she thought we were going to. So we have a great working relationship with them now. We have a contact person there, and we've made, you learn as you go along. So we had our first products, we started selling them, and then the zippers were breaking. Like
Mm.
that's a big problem when you have a
Yeah.
tote that has a zipper across the top. So we're like, okay, that's a problem. So we would take and replace of course, any bag. We would, customer service is always
Mhm.
on top of mind. Um, and then there were a couple of other little things just about the webbing straps, fraying, and little things. Because when you're paying, 99 or $100 for a bag, that's not a throwaway item, right? You
Yeah.
want that to last. So we've, over course of a year, we've upgraded the zippers, we've changed out the webbing, the little water bottle pockets on the side, the mesh has been a problem, like with holes. So
Mhm.
we've changed out that. We've added some other features like a key, a little clip to put your keys on
Mm.
right inside the bag. So, and we've worked with us on everything. So that has been great
Yeah.
because it easily could have been like, "No, we'll make all those changes, but we're gonna charge you this much more." But they are very conscientious. I will say working with the Chinese, the people I've worked with have been amazing. They are very detail oriented, of course. So that's who we use for our bags. Now, I had to find somebody to do other things like the pajamas,
Mm.
and that was honestly there's Alibaba, is a sort of like a Amazon for
Yeah, the
buying
tier. Yeah.
Chinese products, right? So I just went on there. I started looking. I'm like, okay, I knew exactly what I wanted in the pajamas. So I went and did some searching, got some sample. I found this one. I got a few samples. Only one was I very happy with. Worked with them, and we're doing a reorder of those right now. Same with the slippers. So it's trying to find trusted Chinese manufacturers is invaluable.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I've been, I guess, lucky,
Yeah.
because I've been pretty pleased with almost everything we've gotten and being able to make improvements.
It's a little trial and error, right? And seeing what works. But it sounds like having that, what did you call it? Like the middleman, your
Agent, sort of,
agent.
yeah.
Yes, thank you. Finding someone like that sounds like key when you're manufacturing overseas, right?
Yeah, because I wanted specific things like, the print on the inside of my bags has
Mhm.
our logo print. It's got pickles all over the inside, and I have a special logo charm and a tassel that, that are my brand, right? That's what you want to do. You want to create a private label so nobody can just go out there and make the same bag and charge $5 less for it.
Yeah.
So branding was super important, and they work with me all along to make sure that I was happy with what they came up with.
Yeah. And the bags are so cute. So I'm curious, what's been a pinch me moment, something you're really proud of in regards to the business?
I guess just because we launched last April, and again, I had no idea. So we had less than a year of sales in
Hmm.
2023, and we had no idea. I mean, I knew we were a good giftable product, but we had really no idea how well we would do in, like, say, Black Friday and all
Hmm.
through December for holiday. And we had really not advertised that much. We did some Amazon ads, but I wasn't doing any Meta ads. I wasn't doing any because I just hadn't gotten there yet. So when we did, I think we did over 100,000 in sales just in
Yeah.
December. And I was like, Wow, okay." That was our first holiday season. I didn't even
Yeah.
really know what I was doing, so I have high hopes for this year because we have more products, we're a little bit more visible, we have a little bit more brand recognition, so,
Hmm.
that was kind of like, "Okay, really? I just started selling in April, and I sold $100,000 in 1 month?"
That's
That's,
amazing.
like, crazy. Now, of course, January dropped off. You do have the holiday bumps, but still, that was like, okay, validation, people
Yeah.
do want our products, and they're seeing them.
Yep. No, that's definitely a pinch me moment. Now, who would be your dream customer or collaboration? Like, if there's someone you'd love to have your products or you'd love to collaborate on something in regards to your products?
You know who is hands down who I would love to have is Katie Couric.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I follow her and she plays pickleball and she's always posting about it. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, if I could get her holding one of my bags, that would be amazing."
Yeah. I feel like it's totally her style too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she would be my number 1 for sure.
I love that. So, since this is the Preppy podcast, I always ask everyone, what does preppy mean to you? So, how would you describe preppy?
Gosh, I'm again a lot older than you, so preppy really came to I feel like in the '80s was sort of like okay, and that's when
Mhm.
I was like in high school, college. So to me, then it meant like classic khaki pants, plaid, tartan plaid, kind of distinctive. And I think it's definitely evolved from that. That was more like an LL Bean, let's say,
Yeah.
vibe. And then, in the '90s, it probably was more J. Crew because they kind of came up with a little bit more fun colors and a little bit more
Hmm.
playful. And even then, I think it's even evolved now because now I don't, has Lily Pulitzer been around that long? It probably has, but
Yeah.
yeah, so like things like that. So I think it can mean different things to different people. To me, it means
Hmm.
like casual, casual elegance, maybe kind of
Yeah.
distinctive. I'm someone who likes to have, I don't know, every day I try to put on something, whether it's my glasses or something else. It's like, okay, my one piece of distinction,
Yes. I love
so I
that.
think that can be a handbag that's pink or
Yeah.
preppy or plaid or something that just, or a pair of shoes that you love that, you know, kind of give that vibe or style. I mean, again, back in the day for me, it was penny loafers, right? Everybody had penny loafers. I'm really showing my age, but
No, I think that's a great answer though. That one piece that, makes you different or kind of like your signature piece. Because for me, I feel like have something on that's pink. Like I'm a pink girl and it's part of my business branding. And it's always me. I have something on, whether it's as simple as like a shoe or a piece of jewelry. But something's pink. That's always with me. So I think that's a good answer.
yeah, yeah, and
Um,
it's lasted forever, right? I mean,
yeah.
things go in and out of style, but there's the preppy vibe has always been there. Whether I mean, home furnishings, all that. It's kind of
Yeah. No, 1,000%. So I always like to give listeners kind of a resource that they could go and check out and learn from or be helpful to them. So, what's a resource that you could share, whether it's a newsletter you love to subscribe to, or a book you read recently, or a program that you've been part of? What's a resource that people could check out?
yeah. Well, I keep mentioning that when I first started the term, there's it's called Seller Systems,
Seller
and so you
system.
can Google them, and they have some free content, and then you can subscribe or be a member. And
Hmm.
they also have an annual conference. So my husband and I went in January. It was great networking, and these are all people who sell everything on Amazon. So and they're doing a lot. So we've made some great connections through that organization, which has been great. And then Facebook groups too. I'm always, I'm on a pickleball. So I'm a pickleball women's group on Facebook. I'm like, okay, so they're always. I'm just like trying to get the vibe on what people are talking about, what they're using, what products they or need. So there's so many things out there. It's almost you
Yeah.
could spend all day, every day.
No, but I think that sellers network that you mentioned, that's a great resource for people to check out. Sounds like a great group to be part of. So, what's next for you? Anything you're working on? I know you mentioned that hats are going to be coming in. Anything else that people should look out for on the horizon?
Yeah, I think we should have hats in by the end. Well, hopefully by Black Friday. I'm just not sure if they're going to
Mm-hmm.
make it here in time. So that, and then like I've been spending so much time making sure we have enough inventory in place for the holidays. So product design has been a little bit on the back burner for the last month or so. So I think I've toyed with the idea of doing some men's products, but that's a tricky market too
Yeah.
because men are kind of boring. They're not going to care about what kind of bag they they bring to the court. Um, and then just continuing to maybe develop some new designs. I've thought about doing a combo bag, like if you're a tennis player and pickleball
Oh,
player, you do a
yeah.
bag that holds a tennis racket and a paddle ball
Yeah.
paddle. So though I got a few things like I'm
In
noodling
the
with.
works. Yeah, I love that. So let's leave everyone with like what's a piece of advice that or a piece of motivation that you'd leave people with? Someone wanting to go out and start their own business or maybe in the thick of it. What would you say?
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to show my nerdy side, but make sure you understand the financials of what you're taking on if you decide to start something. You got to have enough money to buy inventory,
Mhm.
and you got to have enough money to make sure that you have enough to last you until you start getting revenue, right? And then we'll just see if
Yeah.
hopefully you're going to make that. So, being able to understand financials of any business, I think is key. In this day and age, I'm very thankful that Amazon is out there because 20 years ago, this wouldn't have, I would have had to do so many different things to try to get something off the ground. So there are great things. But just, if I can do it, anybody can do it, I guess. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I did this. I came up with the idea a little over 2 years ago, and here I am, gearing up for my second holiday. And I would love to say I can do double what we did last December.
Hmm.
Um, that is just incredible, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm not, you know, brain trust or anything. It's just diligence, making sure and learning everything you can about your customers,
Hmm.
and what they want. So I guess
Yeah.
that.
That's great. Those are great parting words. So, finally, let everyone know where they can find you, the social media handles, where they can shop, website, that sort of thing.
Yeah, our website is freshpickle.com. You'll see all of our products there. We'll be having some Black Friday specials. And then also on Amazon, if you search Fresh Pickle, sometimes you'll get a lot of actually jars of pickles, but weed that out. What else did you ask?
Social media, website,
Media, yeah.
and yeah.
We're at Fresh Pickle Designs on Instagram. And I think it's the same on
Um,
Facebook. So that's where you
Perfect.
can find us. We have plenty of products out there if you're looking for some good holiday gift ideas. If you have friends or family members that like pickleball,
Yep.
it's great. And I think I sent you the promo. We have a promo code for your listeners too. So,
Yep. I can put that in the show notes and on social media then when this airs.
okay, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
great.
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lee. This was so great learning all about you and Fresh Pickle. I'm so excited to use my bag the next time I play pickle. Thank you so much for listening to the Preppy Podcast. I hope this put a little prep in your step for the day. Please subscribe, rate, and review on wherever you listen to your podcast, and follow along with @the Preppy Podcast on social media.